Hello, welcome on a Monday afternoon. Haven't done a live stream in a while because things were rather boring and things were just kind of blah overall in the crypto markets. Well, that kind of changed today. So we're going to talk about all of that, what's going on with this lawsuit, and look at the charts, because that's what we do here. Let me drop down here in the corner. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for showing up and being part of this discussion, because if you own any crypto at all, or you're even interested in the crypto market, this is a big deal. And you know me, I come here and I try and get through the FUD and find out what the truth is. And I've been looking at this today and got a bunch of stuff to show you. So, of course, the first thing you're going to notice is here on the chart, big red candles, because that's what happens when something like this comes about, is you get big selling pressure and big dips in the market. So that's what we're going to be looking at. And no, Elon sold. Oh my God, you guys. Elon is not buying and selling crypto. Get off this. Elon is not buying and selling crypto. He's got bigger things to do. In fact, he was just on with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on Twitter Spaces. He's not selling crypto. Oh my gosh. Oh. No, this is bigger. And here I thought today we were going to be talking about like hardware wallets, the atomic wallet that has been somehow hacked, and some hackers being able to get in and liquidate funds out of people's atomic wallets. And I was just like, how can that happen? And with all of the other stuff going on with Ledger and the backdoor and and all of this stuff, and people wondering what are we going to do with our wallets, which is a big deal in crypto, because we're trying to get mass adoption of crypto and trying to get like a lot of people embracing crypto, understanding crypto, and even using crypto. And we can't even get a wallet that actually works how we want it to work without there being hackers and funds lost and scammers and all of that. And now we've got a lawsuit, right, that's in the headlines about crypto exchanges, CZ in particular. So what's going on? So that's what we're here to talk about today. Welcome. So where do we start? Well, let's start with the news, right? So SEC sues Binance and CEO Changpeng Zhao, CZ. A lot of people love CZ, but there's always those who just think that they don't trust him. Something's going on with him. This could be the tip of the iceberg of that, and we could see more accusations and bigger things coming around about CZ. Or it all ends up just being FUD, and maybe he was kind of like overstepping his bounds in terms of management, particularly of Binance.us, where the CEOs of Binance US weren't able to actually do what they want to do because CZ was managing it with an iron fist. So I think there is some of that. But also, there could have been some funny business going on with market makers and liquidations and things like that as well. So we're going to be talking about that. To start with, the SEC sued crypto exchange Binance, which includes Binance.us, we'll get into that, and its billionaire founder, Changpeng Zhao, alleging that they work to attract US customers to its unregulated international exchange. That's one of the things they're talking about, is how there was a lot of discussions about wealthy Americans, and this was back in 2018. Before there was Binance.us, there was a Binance. The Binance trading platform left the United States because they didn't want to deal with the SEC regulations. So they left. And Binance US was going to be set up as a separate entity. But the people running the Binance exchange didn't want the big wealthy US clients to not be trading on Binance. And so they were actually helping, according to allegations, helping the big wealthy crypto traders in the United States to use VPNs to VPN into Binance. And so that they could have more liquidity on the main Binance platform. That's what's being alleged here. And that's what this is talking about. Co-mingling investor funds, that's going to be another one that's going to come up big. It's like there's a lot of money involved, right? And then sort of the different management arms that Binance set up in order to manage not only the largest crypto platform in the world, Binance, which has like 75% of all the crypto trades in the world are on Binance, but then also the little brother Binance.us. Here, I'm in the United States. I trade on Binance.us. And so I have never traded on Binance because I don't use a VPN. So I don't go to Binance. I can't even see the charts on Binance.com because they don't show them to me because I'm blocked from that. But, well, maybe I should try a VPN and go take a look at it. But that's what they were trying to get those wealthy United States crypto investors to do, was go trade on that. But commingling investor funds, well, that violates securities laws. The 13 charges, a total of 13 charges, come after there was already a commodities. The Commodities Commission unveiled a similar complaint against Binance earlier this year. So now this is the SEC coming after them. And of course, CZ dismisses the allegations. So here's what Binance says. We are disappointed that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission chose to file a complaint today against Binance, seeking, among other remedies, purported emergency relief. From the start, we have actively cooperated with the SEC's investigations and have worked hard to answer their questions and address their concerns. So, according to Binance, they think they were making this good faith effort with these discussions about what's going on. Instead, the SEC used the iron fist to come out and sue Binance. So from the Binance side, SEC's undermining America's role as a global hub for financial innovation and leadership. This is the whole part that on the crypto side, we don't get. Why can't the SEC and Congress work out a way in order to come up with regulations and then make the exchanges comply with those regulations instead of doing this stuff? Because what it's doing is it is causing American technological advances in this digital asset world to leave. They're just going to leave. They're just going to not deal with the United States, and that is what they're. I don't think they realize that they're facing is that technological innovation is just going to leave. It's going to go somewhere else, and America is going to be left behind because, well, the politics of it is that, eventually the United States is going to do a CBDC, central bank digital currency. They don't want crypto here. I mean, Elizabeth Warren is in the forefront of all of that. Just get rid of crypto. And this is another way to do it, is to do this. So, really tough, though, at the same time to read through all of these allegations. And here's the complaint, and you can go to sec.gov and you can find the complaint itself and who all is involved, the different management holdings that there are, as well as CZ himself. And so what this news article has is a diagram, and this is on CNBC. It has this diagram of how they think the structure works. And I had never seen this before because I trade on Binance.us, and I always wondered what the relationship was with Binance US and Binance. And they've kind of spelled it out here. So here's CZ up at the top, and he owns some other entities too. And then there's these holding companies. And these different holding companies sort of do different things. One of them is Binance Holdings, of which Binance operates out of. But then they created this other one called BAM Management Company Limited. And under that, there is BAM Management US Holdings, BAM Trading Services, and then Binance US. But in the end, this all goes back up to CZ. So ZZ still has financial management of Binance.us. It isn't independent. So that's kind of where this starts. From here, we're going to go and we're going to talk about what some of the CEOs of Binance US faced. And then also the SEC identifying 13 more cryptocurrencies that they think were being traded as unregulated securities. That's right. And one of them is Cardano, ADA. ADA is on the list. And Solana, Sol is on the list. We'll take a look at that list in a minute. But now the SEC is saying those are also securities. After the list that they had in the Coinbase lawsuit, they had a list of others. Now they've added more to that list. So we'll take a look at that in a minute. So this was interesting. And what happens is the lawsuit gets into a lot of the details of how these different organizations kind of work together, as well as some of the individuals within either Binance US or Binance and some of the communications there. How they got those communications, we don't know. Some of them could have been saved and given to the SEC because they want to like get back at CZ. Who knows? Who knows where all of that came from? So the SEC's case against Binance. Let's go piece by piece here. So there's legal complaints to begin with. Then here's a list of securities: Sol, ADA, Matic. So Polygon is in here. Here's Filecoin, there's Atom, Sandbox, Mana. So they're going after some of the gaming coins. Algorand again, my poor Algorand. Algorand just gets hits again. AXS and Cody. So those are the new ones, along with BNB token and BUSD, which is interesting because BUSD is supposed to be a stable coin, and it's listed as a security. And how a stable coin can be a security, I don't know. But what, Binance is not the only exchange that lists all of these tokens here. This whole list of tokens here are all being traded on many, many different platforms. And so this is kind of like a warning to these other exchanges: look out, because we're going to go after you too. And Algo was also one that was already listed on the Coinbase lawsuit. And now it's listed here again. And Algo just took another beating. We'll look at the charts in a minute. We'll go through the charts. We'll see how the coins are doing. What isn't here, what you don't see here, you don't see any proof of work cryptocurrencies. So no Dogecoin, right? No Litecoin, no Bitcoin. Proof of work cryptocurrencies are not here. These are all tokens, proof of stake. So that's what's going on. And what about BUSD? From September 2019 through February 23rd, 2023, Binance offered and sold BUSD to United States investors as part of a profit earning scheme within the Binance ecosystem, touting returns for investors from simply buying BUSD or deploying it in Binance profit-generating programs. Now, nobody asked me to do that, but then I'm not a big whale, so But there were whales who obviously were being enticed to use BUSD and get profits from it. Again, this is what's being alleged. Sigma Chain, this is one of these companies here that seems to be involved in this and could actually be held by CZ. And so if CZ really is the owner of Sigma Chain, they were doing this wash trading on or about the time when new crypto assets were being added to the new Binance.us platform, that there was this trading going on through Sigma Chain. And if that Sigma Chain is actually pointing back to CZ, that doesn't look good. That doesn't look good for CZ. So that could be. It could be. Not only did wash trading occur at Binance US, but done by one of Zhao's own companies? Maybe. So they go and they find some quotes and emails from former Binance.us employees, including CEOs, trading sales director, to pull Sigma Chain's data to hold them accountable. And so this is all just really deep. And if you really want to get into the depths of it, you can read the whole complaint on the SEC government website. But it goes on and on and on, not only about wash trading, but also liquidity and how liquidity was being added, and then how the different CEOs were being managed by CZ himself. So they went through a couple CEOs. A couple CEOs quit because of this. So it'll be interesting to see the details of this. I can see why CZ and Binance wanted to keep all of this under wraps and talk with and have meetings with the SEC to kind of discuss all of these and not have this all come out in the open. But now it's out there. And now it is all out there. So it will be interesting to see what goes on with all of this FUD and whether the FUD is actually real. And like, I'm not on completely one side of the fence or the other here. Some of this goes back to 2018, 2017, and isn't what's going on today. CZ is probably doing things much more legal today, and there may be some questionable activities of what was going on a number of years ago, and this is all just catching up to him. So I think there's a lot of that involved here as well. But that is what is being discussed. So on Twitter, of course, was alive today with just pieces of the lawsuit being put out there, particularly as it comes to investment contracts, thus being securities with Solana, ADA, Matic, Phil, Atom, Sand, Mana, Algo, Cody, yep, on the list. SEC even tweeting, "Today we charge Binance Holdings, US-based affiliate BAM Trading Services, together with Binance operating Binance.us and their founder CZ with a variety of securities law violations." So they are even taking to Twitter. And then they take this quote from the Binance chief compliance officer back in 2018, "We're operating as an effing unlicensed securities exchange in the USA." That's the whole VPN thing. So how that quote, whether it's taken out of context and where it comes from, I don't know. But someone said it, had it in writing, and it got found out by the SEC. So I think that's what a lot of this is about as well. But this goes on. Of course, Charles Hoskinson, creator of Cardano, ADA tokens, very concerned because now ADA is on the list of an unregistered security that's being traded. So what Charles says is, with respect to Binance, reading through the SEC complaint, over 130 pages long, seems like the next in a series of steps to implement Choke Point 2.0. The end goal is an agenda-based CBDC partnered with a handful of massive banks and end-to-end control over every aspect of your financial life. So Charles is taking the path of, this is all the United States government with the SEC just clamping down on crypto to get rid of crypto in the United States so that they can come out with their CBDC and manage the whole financial system and not having crypto here. So honestly, what is happening isn't anything new, always the same fight between freedom and authoritarianism, just with different players, technology, and words. It does seem like this event is a perfect opportunity for the entire industry to set aside its fragmented nature and unite for a common sense set of rules and guidelines that can prevent the United States from slipping into a dystopia that would make 1984 look like a vacation. A little bit out there, but I get what he's saying. I'm Brian Armstrong, who runs Coinbase, is already trying to do the same thing. So I can see now that the leaders of United States-based exchanges and cryptocurrency projects getting together and working together to try and figure out a path forward. So the thing is, from here, right? Cryptocurrency is worldwide, right? The United States is one country. And so the SEC is not going to stop cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies, when they're out there, it's worldwide. They're traded worldwide. So crypto is not going to die. And in many countries, the adoption rate is very, very high. And so this thought of the United States being left behind technologically with digital assets is a big concern. I don't think the government cares about that, though, right now. They just want to continue to throw out this FUD and get rid of crypto. That's what's happening. It's not SEC versus CZ Binance. This is one of the best tweets I saw today. It's the SEC versus crypto. That's really what it is. So of course, Binance US then does its own tweet. Today, the SEC filed civil claims against Binance.us, along with all those others I named earlier. What is the latest example of regulation by enforcement under the current commission? To be clear, we believe the lawsuit is baseless. We intend to defend ourselves vigorously. However, we want to address what has become an all too common occurrence for entities and individuals operating in the American digital assets industry. Binance US says they've engaged in good faith with the SEC for nearly 2.5 years. And now the SEC just brings out the iron fist. So what does this all mean? Well, we saw what happened with cryptos. All of them just took a nosedive. Some not as much as others. ETH is down now, what, 4.5%, where Bitcoin's down 5.5%, Doge is down 8.5%. But yeah, it's tough to see all these big red candles. Joseph asks, what happens to Binance if found guilty? This is going to take years. This is going to take years, right? This isn't something that's going to be like figured out next week or next month or even by this year. it's going to take years. So this is the immediate response, is this. Now, the question is right now, what's going to happen with prices here? Is this going to be the immediate response? And then life goes on and trading just continues from this point. We saw it last year. It was just about a year ago, right? We had the Terra Luna crash. We had Celsius and Voyager, right? That was just about a year ago when all of that happened. In fact, that's when Dogecoin was at its low when it hit 4.9 cents. It was just about a year ago. I don't see Doge going down to 4.9 again. So I think this is the immediate reaction. And now we're starting trading from this point here. And where the trading goes from this point is going to depend on the news that happens from here, how much let's call it control of the markets, right? The market makers bringing the price up, bringing the price down. We just saw liquidations. We saw a lot of liquidations. We saw a lot of shorts, though, win out. If we look at the shorts, especially on Dogecoin, if we look at the shorts chart here, there were already a lot of very large short positions that were open on Doge. And as soon as Doge nosedived, those short positions were being closed and those shorters were making money. So that's what happened. There weren't new short positions being opened. Oh, there might have been, but the others were closing theirs while other short positions were open this morning when this happened. Look what happened to Bitcoin, though. Bitcoin, there weren't a lot of short positions open. Everyone was kind of wondering, where's Bitcoin going to go from here? But as soon as that news came out, boom, all these short positions were open. Down went the price of Bitcoin, and then a lot of those short positions have now been closed. So where is this going to go from here? That's the question. I think it's too soon to tell. And I don't think there's nothing in the charts that is saying anything to me about a continuation down or immediate backtrack up. I think we're going to start a new technical analysis from here going forward, is what I think. And we're going to be in the mid sixes on Doge. I don't see Doge coming back up to 7 cents right now. There's still too much other uncertainty in the markets. Now, next week I think it's next week, right? The next FOMC meeting, and they may pause on the rate hikes, which will be good for the markets, which will help the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ. But is that going to also help crypto? Because what happened today with those markets, they were mostly in the green. Apple actually hit an all-time high today, mid-session, ended up down a little bit. Tesla up to $217. It was up at $220 for a little bit today, ended up $217. So stock market wasn't affected by crypto. This was just a crypto dump here on that news. That's what we saw. So I was looking forward to next week because I've been saying for months that in May, the Fed was going to raise another 25 basis points, and then in June was going to pause, because that's what Jerome Powell had basically said back in March was going to happen. And so they're going to follow along. They want to see now how the rate hikes up to now, how that is going to be affected. What's going to happen to the sort of inflation going forward, because the inflation has slowed down quite a bit. And I don't think they really want to tempt more banks going out of business. So that's what we're saying. A lot of people are saying Doge to 2 cents. Nope. Doge is not going down to 2 cents. Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it. Never read this much on the crypto issues. Here's that committee for your efforts. I try. There's two sides of the story here. There really is. One side or the other side, they're both not right completely. They're both not wrong completely. Because I do believe that that was happening, that there were people within Binance who were getting traders in the United States to use VPNs to continue to trade on the Binance.com platform. I absolutely believe it. And I can see it happening. It makes so much sense. They want to keep that that transaction volume high on Binance. They didn't want it to go to Binance.us. So I believe that. And coming up with some way for them to buy BUSD and get profits from that, sure, I can see that happening too. Yep. And I'm hoping for a bull run to start soon. Yep. Bulls and bears, pretty tough. Pretty tough. So, so overall, if we go out to the daily and we look at this chart, I mean, this is exactly where we were in March. So Dogecoin is no lower today than it was back on March 10th. Same. I mean, we missed out on some good gains, and I didn't think Doge was actually going to fall back below 7 cents. It had hit 6.9 here back on May 25th. It just touched it, and I thought that was pretty good support there. But obviously today's news really pushes that down. And where's Bitcoin? So I've been calling for 25.2. On previous live streams, I was saying 25.2 is going to be your support. Didn't quite hit it today. Hit 25.4, not quite 25.2, but that was support. And that support went all the way back here to February, where 25.2 was resistance. So that's a strong line. Bitcoin didn't go that low. And Ethereum still over 1,800. Right at that support line. So overall, based on the severity of the news, I don't think that's so bad. This wasn't as bad as what happened with Luna. Now, that's not to say that we may still continue to see another day of red and see further drops. We could see that selling pressure kind of continuing. But the immediate drop, that wasn't so bad. Here's Hedera hash graph. It had kind of been drifting down, but overall not huge, just on one day. Sheeb was very similar to Hedera, had been drifting down. But basically, it had been sideways for 3 weeks. This is just sideways trading, and then a dump there. There were some that were trying to come back. I mean, Arbitrum is still $1.13. I mean, that's where it was back in beginning of April here. So still in a good location. Solana, I mean, it's just back where it was last Thursday, because it had traded well the end of last week and over the weekend. So overall, not too bad. BNB took a big hit because they're directly related, down over 10% today for BNB. But not lower than it was, again, back in March. So we've pretty much just erased those gains from March 10th with most cryptos. Some are even lower, though, like Algorand. Algorand has just been, and this decline here that started back here in April, that was the Coinbase lawsuit, and where Algorand was named as a security, and Algo has not been able to recover from there. Was starting to a little bit over the weekend, but dump. 13-cent Algorand now. I don't know how that's going to go going forward. I don't know. I own a lot of Algorand. I have no idea how this is going to, this is just a low price. Now, if we want to zoom out, we want to look at the weekly. I'll say, okay, well, we're down here. Algorand used to be up here over $1 and up to $2. Eventually, if we look at the long view and we go out 2 years from now, could all these cryptocurrencies be back up at 2021 levels? Maybe. Hard to say. I think a lot depends on what happens with the United States presidential race, as Jadranko was saying earlier. That could change things depending on how that plays out. But we're a ways from that. We're still over a year away from that election happening. So it could be a bumpy ride till then. We got the Bitcoin halving, which is going to be next April. A lot of people excited about that. But this kind of puts a break on what was considered to be a bull year so far for 2023. But right now, again, Bitcoin is not as low as it was back in March, even. So because here Bitcoin was back on March 10th, it was at 20,000. We're still up here at 25. Joe says Ape got hit hard. Yeah, what did Ape do? Yeah, similar to Sheeb. They're down 14% though, Ape was. Looked like they had started to do a little bit of a run yesterday, coming up, and then that just got wiped away today. So yeah, that's tough. I think Pepe was down quite a bit as well. Do I have Pepe on here? Yeah, there it is. Yep. Big dump on Pepe. Now down to 10, about to gain a 0 back. But again, I had predicted Pepe was just going to fall off, and it is falling off. Ribbon didn't drop. That's interesting. There's one. Ribbon Finance. I used to be in this one. I had sold out of it. That's odd. Gala down 11%. IMX had done some great gains, all gone over the past week. Jasmy was starting to recover, down. Optimism trying to recover, back down. So yeah, just those that were looking at seeing some gains back to between March and April, there were good gains. Lost some in a lot of alts in May, and starting June, things were starting to look good until today. But yeah, that's what we have overall in the markets, was that kind of tough. Now, there are some who's saying, oh, $1.5 trillion asset manager Franklin Templeton bets big on Bitcoin. Conspiracy theorists are saying that these guys worked with the SEC to make the markets go down today so that Franklin Templeton could buy in Bitcoin at a lower price. Do you believe that? There have been allegations like that made before with JP Morgan Chase and others at certain points when they started to show interest in cryptocurrency, and then there was some black swan event and the price dumped. Interesting. The SEC claims Binance implemented much of a so-called Tai Chi plan. A Tai Chi plan. So this was all them trying to work around with their management structure to keep everything controlled and managed. Very interesting. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Where's crypto going to go from here? We're going to continue down? We're going to recover back up? I'm still in the path of we're going to see this sideways action we saw here through May. It's going to happen through June, and it's going to be down here now. Doge is going to be stuck in the mid sixes. Bitcoin is going to be stuck around 25K. And that's where we're going to be trading for a while. That's kind of what I see happening. I just don't see any of these big runs up right now with this sort of hanging over. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing going on. And like I said, I mean, I trade on Coinbase, I trade on Binance US, I trade on Robinhood and Webull. These are the exchanges that I trade on. And I don't think they're going anywhere. People saying that, oh, Binance US is going to go under, we got to sell everything. It's not that kind of event. They're not an FTX. So I'm not worried about that. But if you've got coins sitting on exchanges and you want to get them into a hardware wallet, good luck. It's certainly recommended for safety and security. There are some of you that just might want to sell and try and buy in at a lower price. You don't know if it's going to go down, though. I still believe in Ledger despite all of that happened the other week about them coming up with this recover program. I think they could have done it in a much better way and left these old devices alone, come out with a new wallet that had that recover feature in it. And that would have gotten rid of all of that FUD on cold storage wallets. Mine is the Nano S. I'm not upgrading the firmware on this. I'm just keeping this like it is. And I think I will be safe. I'm not worried about it. So that's what I'm doing, if you guys are wondering. And I also use Exodus Wallet online that I don't show anyone. And I got a bunch sitting on Robinhood still. I've got little bits in others. But I think the Nano S Plus is still a great device. And you don't do the firmware upgrade. You don't do you don't join or opt into their recover. Why would you want to pay that much anyway? If you believe it's only for people who think they're going to lose their keys at some point in time. It's like if you've got a method on how you're going to store your seed phrase, and keep it safe, then you don't have to worry about that. So thought I would just come online, tell you where things stand, what's going on with the markets. And right now, yeah, it's not pretty. It's a big drop, but now we're kind of floating sideways here. Doge at 6.6 cents, Bitcoin at 25.5, and ETH right at 1,800. So we'll see how that goes. And I will give an update during the week. So thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please give the video a like. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.